Advice for for anybody who wants to do anything outside the box?
Yeah, I touched on this earlier in the interview. If you have a dream, if you have a passion for something, believe in yourself and take a leap of faith.
What's up, everybody? This is indeed the E-Man, chilling like a villain, singing like Bob Dylan, keeping on the low with some double stuff. Oreo.
Let's go.
And um, man, I love movies. Movies are my jam. Movies are my bread and butter. I've said this many times on the podcast, and I have a very special guest in the building today. Man, oh man, his grind in the '90s. He's an actor and director. He had a few guest spots on ER, on Living Single, on Seinfeld. But he made his film debut in 1992 in American Me with the legendary James Edward Olmos, or Edward James Olmos, should I say. And also in 98, he played Anthony Ramirez in John Travolta's Primary Colors. But his breakout role in the very highly anticipated sequel next Friday as Baby Joker. I'm honored to say that Mr. Rolando Molina is on the special delivery show today. What's going on, my friend? How you doing today?
What's up, my brother? I love the Black Jesus poster in the back, bro. That's dope.
Black
That is
Jesus?
pretty dope. Yeah, yeah. Or is it? Oh, Jack Black. I thought it said Black Jesus. I'm dead, bro. It's Jack Black with Most Def. Oh, that's the movie Be Kind Rewind. I
Yes,
didn't see it.
sir.
Okay, I got you. That's a good movie, man. I love that
Oh,
movie.
I love the movie. I had a chance to interview Quentin Aaron from The Blind Side. And when I was doing my
Oh, nice.
research, I didn't realize he was in it. This is actually his first film. And so
Oh,
I love the movie anyway. And I said, I might as
right.
well just get the poster. I love collecting movie posters. So uh man, so much to go into. I just want to know how things in your area of the world. You're over there in Los Angeles, obviously.
I'm from LA. Where are you from?
Originally, I was born in Jersey, and then I
Okay.
moved to the South. Moved to so
Okay.
I'm in South Carolina right now.
Oh, bro, I've been to South Carolina, Beaufort, South
Okay,
Carolina. There's an international film festival called the Beaufort International Film Festival, and back in 2014, 2015, more or less, a short film that I did ended up being the official selection over there, and it was nominated for Best Film. Our director was nominated for Best Director, and yours truly was nominated for Best Actor in the short. So they flew us
nice.
out there. Thank you. They flew us out there for the weekend to enjoy the film festival and whatnot. And I love Beaufort, man. It's beautiful, beautiful beach town, very quiet, quaint, and that Southern hospitality is a real thing.
Did you get a chance to try any food?
Absolutely. The sweet
Nice.
tea alone. And that's when I discovered Waffle House too.
Oh, y'all don't have a Waffle House on the West Coast?
We do not have Waffle House out here. No, excuse me. No,
Oh,
sir.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. So it was
Yeah.
it was a very nice eye-opening experience. Cheesy eggs, bro.
Wow.
Yeah,
You have,
man.
I don't know if you there's a lot of places, but see, I'm living in South Carolina now, but I was raised in North Carolina in a small town called Wilson. And man,
Okay.
a lot of good food there. But have you heard of this place called Bojangles?
I've heard of it, but I've never been.
You gotta go. It's it's
Okay.
it's some of the best. Like they have it's a chicken place, and it's
Oh,
Cajunized chicken, and it's really, really good.
ooh.
It's really good.
You
You'll love
had
it.
you had me at chicken and Cajun. Done. I'm huge on Cajun food, bro. I love that. But see, when we went to South Carolina, the hosts, they were the ones cooking and everything. So
Okay.
it was a lot of homemade food that we were eating and whatnot. But I'm probably going back again to Buford in March because another short film that I did with the same writer director as the other one that I went to. Um, we did a couple of short films, and one of them got accepted again into Buford. So we might be making that journey back out there again. So I'll definitely have to try Bojangles when I'm out there.
Oh yeah, please do. And I might have to check out that. I love to watch short films. I love films in general. I would love to check that out. You know,
Yeah,
I haven't been to any film festivals, but it's never too late to go,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Film festivals are a lot of fun because that's where you get to see up and coming writers, directors, actors, people in the industry that are trying to get their foot in the door. And also some veterans like myself that, I enjoy doing short films because, especially if the subject matter is something I can relate to or something that kind of moves me in a way.
Mm,
I definitely love being part of that. And the matter of fact, the writer and director that I work with, his name is Fabian Martin. He did a short film called 400 Miles. That's the first one
okay.
that I did with him, and that's how I met him and his wife Maria Martin. And we ended up becoming very good friends after that short film. And so so now we've been collaborating on these other shorts and whatnot. So I think that one of the reasons that I love working with Fabian is because him and I have very similar taste in films and also in subject matter of the films that we enjoy. So, for example, the one that's making the film festival circuits right now, it's called Estela, Is It You? And it's about this widowed older Latina woman who, you know, ends up speaking to her dead husband, yours truly,
Hmm.
through the car radio that they both owned, and it was an older Model 60s kind of surfer station wagon, really cool car, but it's got the old radio with the knobs. And she
Yeah.
gets in the car one day and she starts hearing her husband talk to her, her dead husband talk to her, and I'm the dead husband. So recently, Fabian, the writer director, went with Laura Pantino, not Pantino, Laura Pantalon, which is the main actress in the short film, to the Borrego Springs Film Festival over in Borrego Springs near San Diego, or actually, sorry, Palm Springs. And they received the short film. It was a huge success. They received it with open arms, and everybody truly loved it. Laura was uh, kind of mobbed afterwards by the crowd because they really enjoyed her performance. So, yeah, so I think that working with Latino writer and director like Fabian is definitely something I want to continue to do.
Fantastic. You know, I have friends of mine that I mean there's a lot. I mean, one of the things I loved about I live in okay, so I live in Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is like 20
Okay.
minutes away from Charlotte, North Carolina. And
Right.
like when I moved here, when some of my friends that I met through work, they make short films and things like that. And I didn't realize there was so much of a circuit for that in this area, in the
Oh
Charlotte
yeah.
area, you
Oh
know.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, shout out to my friend Chris Gervais. Shout out to my friend Micah Treblefield. You know, they
Mhm.
won a few awards on their films and everything like that, and they're really
Love it.
talented. Um, well, speaking of movies, and you seem to love movies like I do. One of the questions I always ask for my guests, especially if they're actors, is what movie truly knocked your socks off, and you were like, "Whoa, I have to be an actor." You know, what was it for you?
That is an excellent question, brother. So I when I was a kid, my mom, she's an immigrant, and so is my dad. And the one thing that my mom loved to do with me and my little brother when I was about 5, 6 years old was take us to the movies every Saturday. And that's when I started falling in love with movies and film and television. Um, and little did I know at the time that, my mom was actually taking us to the $1 movie theater, which meant these movies had already come out like 3, 4 months before, or six
Yeah,
months
yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
But my mom, that's all she could afford. But, at 6 years old, you don't really think about that. You don't care about that. You're just watching this movie. So
Exactly.
I started falling in love with, I saw amazing films like Star Wars and Jaws and E.T., growing up. And so I fell in love with film because of that. And then When I was probably about 11, 12 years old, I saw a movie for the first time called Stand By Me.
Yes.
Rob Reiner was the director. The film was based on a Stephen King book called The Body. And the basically it's a story of four boys around the same age, 12, 11, 12 years old. They're all
Classic
best
movie.
friends. Classic film. And you know, they go on a search for the body of this other 12-year-old kid who went missing in their hometown. And it's a small town of like, you know, I don't know, like 400, 500 people. So everybody
Mhm.
knows each other. So they go on this adventure. And during the adventure, there's a scene where they're camping out in the woods, and the character of Chris Chambers, who's played by River Phoenix. Those of you that don't know who River Phoenix is, Google him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, River Phoenix and Will Wheaton, who played the character of Gordy LaChance, uh, they were talking while the other two guys were asleep, and near the fireplace. And you know, Chris Chambers is telling Gordy about the milk money that he got a 3-day vacation for that supposedly he stole. And Gordy's like, "Well, did you steal it?" And Chris is like, "Well, yeah, of course I stole it." Now, mind you, Chris Chambers comes from a family of felons. His father was a felon. His older brother is about to be a felon, hanging out with the wrong crowd. So everybody expects Chris Chambers to be a lowlife as well.
Mm.
So, you know, he says, "Yeah, of course I stole it. You know, I stole it. Vernon knew I took it. Everybody knew I took it, but maybe I try to give it back." And Gordy says, "Wait, you try to give it back?" And Chris says, "Maybe, just maybe. Maybe the teacher that I gave it back to stole it back from me, you know, and I still got a 3-day vacation." And Gordy says, "Yeah, she showed up Monday with the new dress and everything, right?" And then Chris says, "You know, now imagine me, Chris Chambers, kid brother to Eyeball Chambers, telling this story. You know, do you think they're going to believe me? But do you think that B word, I'm not going to say it, but B word would have tried that with these rich kids, you know?" And Gordy's like, "No, no." And then out of nowhere, Chris starts crying. And I mean bawling, like, you know,
Yeah.
and he says, "Oh, F it. I wish I could go somewhere where nobody knows me." At that very moment, I kid you not, bro, I started crying. I'm talking
Wow.
like a profound cry where it hurt me because I related to him at that time. I was around the same age, about 11, 12 years old,
Hmm.
watching this movie. And this 12-year-old kid made me cry, moved
Wow.
me. And at that moment, that's when I realized, I said, that's what I want to do. I want to move people like that. I want to make people feel something like that. I don't care if it's crying. I don't care if they hate me. I don't care if they love me. I just want to be able to move them through my performance the way River Phoenix moved me. And that
Yeah.
was the mustard seed. That was the mustard seed that got planted within me that made me decide that I wanted to pursue acting.
That's wonderful. I mean, when
Yeah.
I've only maybe seen that movie twice, but of course, like you say, River Phoenix, Will Wheaton, Corey Feldman, Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell,
Um,
which I worked with.
oh really?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
worked with Jerry O'Connell.
wait, on which project?
It was called
My Secret Identity?
no, 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 no. Oh
Okay.
gosh, what was the name of that? Uh Crossing Jordan.
Oh,
TV show
okay.
called Crossing Jordan. So,
Yeah.
so Jerry played a detective that Jordan ended up knowing. I think they had like some sort of a romantic thing going on, right? And they were going to do a spin-off show with Jerry called Sunset Division from that show. And I ended up playing a character where his name was Hector Churrillo, and he was also a private detective. And he ends up linking up with them because you know they work on a case together. And then there was supposed to be a spinoff show where I was going to be a series regular with Jerry, but it never happened. So working with Jerry was a great honor because I've actually worked with two actors from the movie Stand By Me. The second one
Wow.
was Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so did you get a chance to tell either Jerry or Kiefer how much that movie meant to
Both,
you?
both. both. I said to Jerry, I just want to tell you, man, I've been a huge fan of you since, Stand By Me days. Oh, man, thank you so much. I go, well, here's a little fun fact. River Phoenix's performance in that scene, I told him which scene it was, is what inspired me to want to become an actor. He's like, man, River would have loved to hear that. Those of you that don't know,
Wow.
unfortunately, River Phoenix passed away from a drug overdose
Mm-hmm.
when he was 22 years old over
The
at the
Viper
Viper
Room.
Room on Sunset Boulevard. It was one of the saddest days in Hollywood, one of the saddest days for me because, like I said, I loved River, and I actually got to meet him once. Once,
Really?
yeah. I was a security guard at Universal Studios, which is where I ended up pursuing acting at
Right, right,
Universal
right.
Studios. And he was shooting a movie called Sneakers with Robert Redford.
Mm-hmm.
And the main gate guard, there's an old Irish dude by the name of Scotty. Scotty was very, very mad, very angry Irishman. Anyways, he was very old, so he didn't let River in the gate because he wasn't on the list. Now it's River Phoenix. He
Right.
doesn't need to be on the list, right? But Scotty doing his job, he didn't know any better. He didn't know who River Phoenix was, so he didn't let him in. So, anyways, it was a little debacle. They finally let him in, and my watch commander, he announced, he's like, "Hey guys, you guys got to look at the list, call production if because we can't have this happen again." And blah blah. Now, one of you guys has to go and apologize to Mr. Phoenix. I was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. And Molina, go. And so I actually went to his trailer, knocked on his door, and he answered the door. And I go, Mr. Phoenix, I just want to let you know that on behalf of the Universal Studios Security Department, we apologize for the inconvenience you went through at the main gate. It was a misunderstanding. He's like, oh no, that's fine. And I said, can I shake your hand? He's like, he gave me a weird look. He's like, yeah, sure. I go, I'm a huge fan of yours, and I'm an aspiring actor because of you. Your performance in Stand By Me is what made me want to become an actor. So I'm pursuing that now. He's like, bro, that's awesome, man. Best of luck to you. And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
Dude,
amazing.
that's so fun. That's man, I love just to go back a little, man, just to hear you, be candid about, you sitting in that theater and having those emotions from his performance, and then you being on a lot of Universal Studios, and this is where you end up getting your big break from James Edward Olmos. It's just like
Yeah.
life is a movie. Life is
It
really a
is.
movie, man.
It really,
And
and it's funny. Everybody, when I get asked, where did I go to school? Where did I study acting?
yeah, yeah,
I didn't. I didn't. And I always say, life has been my stage. Life has been my coach. Life has been my technique. And because my acting technique, I take from life itself. In other words, the art form of improvisation, right, or improv as it's called.
mm-hmm.
Um, it truly is an art form, and a lot of people say it's the hardest thing to do. I find it to be the easiest thing to do because what you and I are doing right now, this is improv. This is improvisation. This is just having a conversation off the top of your head, depending on the subject matter that we're discussing at the moment. And that's how I explain it to younger actors that I mentor. That's how you do improv. I'm gonna
Wow,
I'm gonna give you a scenario, and you just gotta talk. Just talk
yeah.
and that's what we do. So that's been my acting school, if you will, life itself. So you're right. Life is a movie.
Man, and just like and I've said this a million times on the podcast, but like for me, like first of all, going to the movies back in the day was a real luxury. You know what I mean? It's like it was a
Mhm.
real special
Yeah,
treat. And for me,
yeah,
the thing that really like shifted things for me was when the first time I watched Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, because I didn't see
yes,
Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I didn't watch horror movies. We didn't watch that stuff in our household. And that movie has a lot of horror elements in it.
yeah,
And I just didn't know what to expect. And man, when I tell you, man, that movie blew my mind. It was like, whoa, ripping out
yeah,
the heart, and
yeah.
eating
Yeah.
bugs and stuff. It was like, whoa. And so to me,
That's what
that's
Star
the
Wars
kind of
was for
movie.
me.
Mhm.
That's what Star Wars was for me.
Really? Yeah.
Star Wars is the film that really just kind of like blew my mind as a kid because of all the special effects and
Right.
and my mom to this day tells me you couldn't keep quiet in the movie. You kept asking mom, how are they shooting that? How are they filming in space? How, and it's like
Right.
I was so fascinated by it. So I get it. Yeah,
And it holds up to this day. I mean, like
absolutely.
my favorite Star Wars film, I always like flip flop, but I love Return of the Jedi because that
Return
was
of the
the first
Jedi.
one I watched in the movie theater. But then, later on in life, watching like, Empire Strikes Back, it's like, yo,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
they
bro.
don't make movies
Yeah,
like that anymore.
they
They really
don't.
don't.
They don't, bro.
Yeah. Um,
But no,
yeah.
go ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna no, I want you to finish what you were saying because when like we talk about Edward James Olmos, like what was that like meeting him and I mean, what was that like, man?
So
He's a legend.
he truly is a legend, and it's very interesting how I've come full circle. So when I was about to graduate high school, I had made the decision that I was not going to go to college, that I was going to pursue acting, and I was going to make it or die trying. A little 50 Cent in there, right? And
Hmm.
and then so what I did is and by the way, my parents were not thrilled at the idea that I was not going to go to college.
Okay.
Supposedly I was going to be the first one in the family to go to college because I guess I was that smart or book smart as they thought. But I explained to my mom, I said, Mom, I feel like if I don't pursue this, if I don't try this, if I don't take a leap of faith, it's going to be one of the biggest regrets in my life. And I don't want to live the rest of my life living in regret and asking myself, what if?
Mm,
The rest of your life wondering, what if? What if I'd taken a chance? What if I had taken the leap of faith? What if I had given it a shot? You don't want to live your life like that because that's not a life.
mm.
So what I did is I ended up applying at almost every single major studio in LA, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Universal, Disney Studios, Burbank Studios, everywhere. The only one that responded was Universal Studios with a job as a security guard, but it was a job guarding sets in the back lot. That's how
Oh
it
wow.
started for me. And yeah, so I got to actually be on a set in the back lot of Universal watching the whole process of filmmaking or television show making. And I learned set etiquette. I learned the lingo. I learned, what the director yells and says before and after. And, just observing, just soaking everything in like a sponge. And then I would start asking questions like, "Hey, man," to other actors, "Hey, man, how do I become an actor? How do I get started?" And there's always
Yeah.
a catch 22. It was always, well, you got to be in the union, the actors union, in order to get these jobs, but you got to get one of these jobs in order to join the union. It was like a catch 22, and it's like
Yeah.
it seemed impossible. And just when I was about to give up, they ended up switching me over to working the production gate, which is where all the production vehicles would come in and out of. You had the main gate and then you had the production gate. So I worked the production gate.
Okay.
And the production gate, regular vehicles weren't allowed to come through, just production vehicles, right?
Oh. Hmm.
So one day I'm working the gate and there's cherry red Porsche 911 with Florida license plates and tinted windows, drives up to the gate. And I'm like, oh man, I got to tell this guy to turn around. He's in the wrong gate. So I'm going like this, and he stops and he lowers his window. And I look at him. It's this man, Edward James Olmos. It
Wow.
was him. He had just finished production on uh, Miami Vice in
Oh
Florida,
wow.
and he was beginning pre-production on this film. Am I pointing that way? On American Me.
Hmm.
And I said, "Holy moly, Mr. Olmos!" Now, mind you, I've been a fan of Edward James Olmos since Zoot Suit. And then definitely watching him, on Miami Vice, and seeing a Latino actor doing his thing and making it in Hollywood. He was an inspiration to me. So actually meeting him was such an honor for me. And I said to him, Mr. Olmos, I'm a huge fan. I'm an aspiring actor, and I'm hoping to be like you one day. And he's like, just keep at it. You never know, And so I let him in, needless to say, and he would stop by the gate every couple of times a week, and he would always stop and say hi and talk to me for a minute. Very nice guy,
Wow.
and yeah, and one day this guy was driving out of the gate, and he stops and he's like, "Hey, this kind of chunky Latino dude," and he's like, "Hey, which one of you two guys is Rolando?" Because I had a little Filipino dude working with me. There was always two of us at the gate. And I go, "That's me." He's like, "Hey, man, my name's Bob Morones. I'm the casting director for American Me, which is the film that Edward James Olmos is starring and directing. And he asked me to ask you if you'd be interested in auditioning for his film." I'm like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah, he's looking for a cop, a Latino to play a cop, and he likes the way you look in your security guard uniform. He wants to see if you can
Wow.
act." And I was just like, I was very intimidated. I'm not gonna lie. And I
Wow.
was like, well, he asked me, he said, "Are you an actor? Have you done any acting before?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Really?" I go, "Well, I mean, I've done like school plays and stuff," which I had, little school plays here and there in elementary school.
Mm.
And he's like, I go, "Well, maybe I can be an extra, do background work." He's like, "No, no, 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 I don't hire extra, I hire actors." He goes, "Look, do you want to audition or not?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure." This is on a Friday evening. He goes, "All right, come through Monday afternoon at my office back lot, and we'll audition you." And then the little Filipino dude that was there, his name was Randy. Randy, he'd been trying to be an actor for a while. He had headshots and everything. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm an actor. I got my headshot right here. Can I audition?" And he's like, "Yeah, why don't you both come through?" So anyway, Monday comes. I don't go. I blow it off.
Oh
Because to
no.
me in my head, yeah, because to me in my head, I was like, this is too good to be true. This is a fluke. I mean, there's no way. So I show up at work at the gate, and Randy comes in. Randy's like, "Bro, where were you?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" "They were asking about you." I go, "Who?" "Bob Morones, bro. I went to the audition this morning, and he was asking about you." I was like, "Are you
Whoa.
serious?" Yeah. He said, call him right now." I'm like, "Oh shit." All right. So I called him. "Hey, Bob, it's Rolando. What happened?" "Oh, I had a flat tire, Okay, okay. Which was bullshit, obviously. But then he's like, "Well, can you come during your lunchtime?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I can stop by." So, anyways,
Second chance. Wow.
bro, I actually, this was my third chance, and I'll explain to you why in a minute. But
Whoa.
anyway, so I went back there and I auditioned, and I ended up 2, 3 days later getting a phone call at home while I was getting ready for work. "You got the part." And I became the cop that arrested Edward James Olmos at the bus stop in American Me back in 1991.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what got my acting career started.
That's incredible, man. I mean, like that was your first time being on a movie set. That was your first time acting in a major movie. What was that? I mean, how did it feel like, when you got the part? What was your reaction?
I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, thanks, Bob." He's like, "You heard what I said, right? You got the part." I go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I heard you." He's like, "All right. Well, anyways, my assistant will be in touch with you. All right, give you all the details." I'm like, "All right, cool, thanks." I hung up the phone, and I'm living at home at the time with my parents, right?
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Got a part. I got a part in the movie." Then it hit me. I got a part in the movie. I got a part in the movie. Oh my God, Mom, Dad. And there's nobody at the house. I'm alone.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it didn't hit me until after I hung up, like
Hmm.
this was mind blowing, And those of you that are wondering what part I was in American Me, I had one part. I had one scene and one line, and this is it.
Oh wow.
That's your 19-year-old Rolando Molina arresting Edward James Olmos at the bus stop while his girlfriend's just looking on. So
Wow.
I have these as memorabilia. I actually autograph these and sell them to my fans, along with some other, you know, photos that I got. So that's where you'll find me towards the end of the film. And that was the beginning
Fantastic.
of my career. Yeah,
Wow. That's incredible, man. Um now I wanted to ask you about next Friday, but this is some really fascinating stuff I found out. Um you actually auditioned for Hector in the first Friday, is that correct?
that is correct. That
But
is
because you
correct.
were on Living Single, you weren't able to get
You
to
did your
get
research. You really did your research. All right. So, uh, the story of next Friday. Okay. Now, first, before I begin, um, you've made a common mistake that a lot of people make, and the internet does not help. Okay. So there's three of us, Joker Brothers, right? Can
yes.
you see this photo right here?
Um yes.
Let me get a little bit closer. How about now? Can you
Um
see it?
yeah, yes. I see. Now Baby Joker, that's you with the toboggan, right?
The beanie right
Yes.
here?
Uh-huh.
No, that's not me.
What?
Exactly. Everybody thinks that that's Baby Joker. Here, let me show you. This will be a better view. And I had to explain this many a times, so don't feel bad. It's not your fault. It's the internet and
Even when you
young
look it up
Dolph.
on Google, it's it
I know. And young Dolph did not help with his song Baby Joker. All right, guys, the Joker Brothers, right?
yes.
Okay, Little Joker,
Uh-huh.
Joker, Baby Joker,
Holy smokes.
and Chico.
And Chico.
Okay, Baby Joker, that's me, played by me.
Right.
That's Joker with the beanie, and that's Little Joker. Now,
Wow.
for some reason, everybody always thinks that the one with the beanie, Joker, is Baby Joker. That's not Baby Joker. That's Joker. And It's been happening for many, many years. On my TikTok, when I first started it, I actually had to do a TikTok video pointing out that's Joker, this is Baby Joker, blah, blah. I played Baby Joker. He played Joker. He's the one with no locked doors. I'm the Aztec Warrior. Baby Joker, I'm the guy with, hey, what you do to my perro, fool? What you do? Hey, what's wrong with Chico? What you do to my perro, fool? That's me. That's Baby
Oh
Joker.
my goodness. I'm so
Which
sorry.
no, don't feel bad. It's like I said, it's not your fault because like you're right. When you Google it, my boy, his name is Jacob Vargas. My boy Jacob Vargas, who played Joker, right? The guy with the beanie right there. Okay,
Yes.
he's the one that pops up when you guys Google Baby Joker from next Friday, and that's
Right.
because so many people have posted on the internet his picture with the words Baby Joker from next Friday. And that's how the Google algorithm works. So, but if you Google it on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, and you go look at the character, at the cast list, you will see my picture with Baby Joker underneath, Jacob Vargas picture with Joker underneath, and Lobo Sebastian, who plays Little Joker with Little Joker underneath. So that's how people will know who plays who for real.
Okay.
And like I said, Young Dolph didn't help anybody busting out with a song called Baby Joker, and he references my boy Jacob. So anyway, with that being said, that's been cleared up now. Now you know who I am. But so I had auditioned for the original Friday, the first Friday, the role of Hector. Hector
hmm
is the guy who drives a lowrider in Friday film, and yo, Smokey,
Yes,
and
yes.
Smokey's like, "F you, Hector," All right, so that's my boy Demetrius Navarro, who ended up
Okay.
booking it. But when I went out for that movie, I didn't know it was. I just knew it was a movie called Friday, and I knew that Ice Cube was, going to be in it. Um, I auditioned for that movie, and then I auditioned for Living Single, which was a TV show with Queen Latifah.
Right.
Now, when I got home, this was on a Friday as well. I got home Friday. My agent calls me and says, "Hey, congratulations, you got the part in Living Single." I'm like, "Cool." Starts on Monday. You're going to be rehearsing Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday you'll be shooting in front of a live studio audience. I love
Okay.
those kind of TV shows. I love shooting in front of a live TV audience. It's kind of like being on a play. It's a live performance. So, anyways, in that show, I had one line. One line. Who had the black bean soup? And that was it. So, mind you, this is, 1995, I want to say, 94, 95. Um, and then, I go to work at the Warner Ranch on Monday. I sign because every time you get on set, the contracts are there in your trailer ready for you to sign and sign
Hmm.
them, and that's it. Sign my contract and everything, done. That afternoon, I get a call from my agent, and she's like, "Hey, congratulations, you booked the movie Friday." I'm like, "Hey, that's awesome. All right, cool." She goes, "It starts working this Wednesday." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can't." I said, "I can't start Wednesday because I'm shooting the show." She's like, "Well, honey, this is a 2 week shoot on a feature film that's going to pay you much more." And I go, "I get that, but I already signed the contract." I said. She's like, "Well, there's ways of getting out of that." I go, "No, no, 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 I can't." And she's like, "Rolo, what are you talking?" She was getting mad. She goes, "What are you talking about? This is a movie with Ice Cube and you're gonna get paid more." I go, "I understand that, honey, but I already signed the contract. And my dad always told me, son, always finish what you start.
Right, right.
Stick to your gun, stick to your integrity." And that's what I did. I ended up having to turn down Friday and do and do this one liner on the show because we shot in front of a live studio audience on Wednesday. And the production for Friday, they wouldn't move the dates around. It's called move the board because they have a
Mm,
board with dates and everything. Go, they can't move the board around. I said, "Can they move the board around to Thursday, Friday? I can start then." And she's like, "No, they won't do it."
wow.
So yeah, I know. So then, what I ended up doing was turning it down, and I kind of regretted it at first, right? But at the same time, I had to stick to my guns. So let's fast forward. The casting offices over at Warner Brothers, because this was a Warner Brothers show. So if I had dropped out, it kind of would have messed them up pretty bad. And they would have had to recast within a day, and that
Hmm.
person would only have like one day of rehearsal and blah blah blah, whatever. So they didn't have to do that because I turned down the film. And word got around, and head of casting at Warner Brothers Studios at the time, John Levy, he approached me and he's like, "Hey, we heard what you did. We want you to know that we're very thankful for it." I'm like, "The right thing to do," I said. "Okay." And then fast forward, I auditioned for this little TV show called ER, and I had auditioned for them. I had auditioned for them several times and
Wow.
hadn't booked anything. Finally, I had auditioned one more time, and a couple of days later, my agent calls me and she's like, "Hey, so they called from ER." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then she's like, "So you didn't book that role?" I'm like, "Then why are you calling me? Why are you calling me to tell me I didn't get the part?" She's like, "No, no, well, because they wanted me to ask your permission for something first." I'm like, "My permission for what?" They want to know if it's okay to use your name, Rolando, as one of the characters on the show. I'm like, I'm confused. Why would they want to use my name? Because they like you as you, and they want to offer you a role of you playing the night shift admitting clerk with the same name, Rolando, just to play yourself, and you'd be
Wow.
a recurring character. And I was like, I'd be a recurring character. Yes. So I
Wow.
ended up getting a contract for 7 out of 13 episodes. So I did 13. I did 7 episodes, and the best part of that is I was in the first season of ER. Mind you, this medical drama went on to do 15 seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and is
Yeah.
one of the best known. I believe it's actually second now because Grey's Anatomy just beat it because Grey's Anatomy is about to start their 20th season as a
Mm.
medical drama, and ER is second now, but ER had first place for all those years. And the season finale episode that I was in, my character Rolando literally had the very last line of the episode when it
Wow.
ended.
That is something
So
else, man.
right, and look, and this is why I'm a firm believer in karma, right?
Mm.
So that happened, and then a couple years later, I get a call from my agent saying, "Hey, we got an audition for you, and it's for a film called Next Friday." I was like, "Next Friday?" She said, "Yep, it's a sequel to Friday." I'm like, "Oh, shoot. All right, cool for Cube. He's doing a sequel." So I went in into the office and ready to audition. And the casting director goes, "Hey, Rolando, thank you so much for coming in. Listen, just so you know, it's actually just a formality. We don't need to audition you. You already got the part." I'm like, "Awesome."
Whoa.
Well, they said, "Well, we remember you from the first audition for Friday, and we already know you're funny, you're talented, and you go great with the other two that we picked, which was Jacob Vargas and Lois Sebastian. You three are going to be amazing." And I was like, "All right, great." So, you know, it all worked out at the end because Baby Joker, the character of Baby Joker, was a better, more prolific character and a lot. I had more scenes, more lines, and everything, than
Yeah.
the role of Hector on Friday. So, everything happens for a reason, and I always tell the younger actors that I mentor because I got a few younger actors that I mentor. I explain to them always finish what you start. Don't leave any production hanging. Don't burn that bridge because if you burn that bridge, you never know what the future holds.
Mm.
So just stick to your guns. And yeah, and that's what I've been doing my entire career is always sticking to my guns.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I love that you kept your word. On next Friday, I just gotta ask you, man, because with that cast, man, one of my favorite movies is Kids, right?
Justin
And
Pierce.
and
I
you
know.
know, it, yeah, he was great in that movie. And I'm what was it like working with him? I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
No, it's fine. Um, I always get emotional because it to me it was a great loss. Justin Pierce is who we're referring to, who played the
Yes.
character of Roach. Roach in Next Friday. Amazing, amazing young man. Very talented, very funny. Um, had a big heart. He would, I remember him and I would sit in between takes and we would talk about the movie Kids, because I was a fan of the movie before I met him. And, when I realized it was him, we had deep conversations about that. And he shared a lot with me about his personal life, his relationship with his girlfriend, who happened to be Central American, Guatemalan. And he was just an all around fun guy to be around and work with.
Yeah.
Um, and when when we finished production on next Friday, several months later, Jacob Vargas had gotten Joker had gotten invited by the production company along with Justin and Mike Epps and a few other actors to go to, I think it was Las Vegas, to go promote the film.
Hmm.
And you know, Jacob calls me a couple of days after and says, "Hey, Rolo, I got some bad news, bro." And I'm like, "What's going on?" Um, Justin took his own life. I'm like, "Wait, what?" Justin Pierce took his own life in Vegas. broke my heart, bro. It broke my heart because he was so young,
Yeah.
talented. He had a great future ahead of him. Unfortunately, he had demons, that kind of just took over. That was one of the saddest losses that I think we've had in the Friday franchise. I mean, it's always a sad loss when anybody passes, especially I got very emotional when John Witherspoon passed too, because him and I
Yeah.
also had a nice conversations, and also, the scene where Pops knocks me out. We he was so kind. He was so worried. He wanted to make sure he didn't hurt me, and
Yeah.
uh, uh,
Yeah.
young man, I'm gonna stop. Okay, like it won't. I promise. I won't touch you. He was just John. It's fine. Don't worry. We got this. But he passed away from natural causes. So did Tommy Lister. So did Bernie Mac. Uh, and it was sad, But Justin's death it affected me a great deal.
Yeah.
Because it was unexpected, first of all, and again, he was so young.
Yeah.
So,
And my condolences, man. I mean, like, he seemed like a cool guy. He was a talented skateboarder as well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, he was.
yeah, and
He
yeah.
did all his own stunts. He did all his own stunts on set with the
Oh,
skateboard.
really?
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah, he did all
gosh.
those stunts. Yeah,
Wow. There's
but
to go back a little bit because you work with John Travolta on Primary
I did.
Colors. What
I
was it
did.
like working with Stuff Your Nose with a Rubber Hole with John
W-
Travolta?
w-
He's a legend.
with Danny Zuko. It
Danny
was
Zuko.
listen, I huge fan of John Travolta ever since Saturday Night Fever,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then Grease, and a few others after that. So when I got wind that I was going to work not only with John Travolta, but also Kathy Bates was in
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
film.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was a great honor for me, and especially when I found out that the scene that I was in was going to be with him, it was just mind blowing. So, I'm not the type of actor to get starstruck by other actors when I work with them, especially celebrity actors,
Hmm.
because I've always told everybody, when we're on set, we're colleagues. So I see us as we're there on the same level. We're there to do the same job. So I don't get starstruck. I just know that I'm a professional. I got to go in ready, prepared, and do the
Right.
work. But when I met John, I remember he walks into the room, and he introduces himself to each and every single one by one, shaking our hands individually.
Yeah.
Classy guy. And I remember I looked at him and I'm like, "You're definitely pulling off a Bill Clinton look." He's like, "Oh, good, because that's what we're going for." I was like, "Yeah, man." And then in between takes, I remember, well, by the way, a little trivia about that scene that we shot in that library,
Hmm.
we shot that in my old junior high,
Get out of here.
Walter Reed Junior High School in North Hollywood. And so when I got the call that that's where we were shooting, I was like, "Holy crap, we're shooting in my old junior high." So I told John, I go, "This used to be my old junior high." He's like, "Really?" Yeah. And I go, "Has it?" He goes, "Has it changed much?" I go, "A little bit, but not much." I said, this, and so this is pretty cool that I get to shoot in my old junior high. And then we started talking, and I said, "Hey, John, I just want to tell you, man, it's truly an honor to be working with you, bro, because I've been a fan of you ever since Saturday Night Fever, man. And you, bro, Danny Zuko is one of my favorite characters you played in Grease." And he's like, "Man, that's very kind of you, man. Thank you so much." So, with that being said, in the scene, where I introduced myself, I'm Anthony Ramirez, and carpenter, freelance carpenter, and this and that. Uh, we rehearsed it and whatnot, and then towards the end, when he gets up and he gets emotional, he starts telling, "I really appreciate all you guys sharing your personal stories with me and this and that." When I hug him, when my character of Anthony hugs him,
Yeah, yeah.
that wasn't scripted.
Wow.
I genuinely felt like hugging him, and when the director yelled cut, John's like, that was amazing, Rolando. That was so cool, man. Oh my God, thank you. And he hugged me again, you know.
Oh
And
man.
the fact that they kept that take speaks volumes on what they thought of my performance, which I'm very blessed and honored, you know.
Man, that's really cool, man. Friday, like
Mhm.
like I said before, that movie, from coming from the first one, that movie, that the second movie was so highly anticipated. Um, there was a story that I read back in I think 2 years ago where one of my favorite movies, Teen Wolf, right? When Teen Wolf 2 came out.
Are we talking about the Michael J. Fox version?
Oh yes, yes. When they made Teen Wolf 2, which starred Justin Bateman, they said
Right.
there was a lot of pressure on that set. Did you feel like, because of the first one? So did you feel like there
Hmm.
was any pressure like on the set of Next Friday, like people like, like, oh, this gotta be as good, if not better than the first one, or no?
Not at all, to be honest with you, man. What I loved about working on the set of Next Friday is that we were all there for the same reason, and that's to have fun, to have fun, to create something memorable, which we didn't realize that this was going to become a franchise that it did become. We just knew that every day we showed up on set, it was always laughs. Mike Epps had all of us dying,
Yeah.
and also DC Curry, and of course John Witherspoon, um,
And Kim
working
Whitley,
with
whew, she's a
Oh,
babe.
Kim, that's my girl. That's my girl, Kim and I, bro. Kim, that's sugar. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Kim Whitley was amazing. I've always loved Kim's work, So working with such legendary actors and also Cube, I get asked all the time, what was it like working with Ice Cube? Well, there's a reason why he calls himself Ice Cube because he's
Hmm,
cool as a cube. He's cool as ice. You know what I'm saying? What you see is what you get.
nice.
He doesn't put up a front. He is just a cool dude and he'll talk to you. But he keeps it real too. You feel me? Like I remember
Yeah, yeah.
this one dude showed up on set wearing Spurs gear, and Ice Cube's a Lakers fan. So
Right.
he's like, oh, no, 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 homie. You ain't showing up on my set wearing that garbage. You better go put that away. He- Go. And he made that fool go take it off his shit, put it in his car.
That's so cool.
So,
That's funny.
yeah, dude. And then I remember we were shooting in the middle of summer. So there was a day, June 15th. I ended up showing up on set and we were shooting the scene with John Witherspoon where he knocks me out with the 2x4. And then when I got on set, everybody started talking about, hey, yo, today's Ice Cube's birthday. Today's his birthday. And I was like, oh, that's dope. So as I was walking to the sound stage where we are going to shoot that scene, I saw Cube's trailer and I saw him and Mike Epps chilling outside of his trailer. Well, not Mike Epps, it was somebody else. Oh, DC Curry. And I go, yo, Cube, hey man, give him a palm. I'm like, happy birthday, brother. I heard on set that it's your birthday. I just wanted to wish you happy birthday. And man, it's just an honor to be working with you, brother. He's like, oh man, thank you, thank you. He's like, hey man, there's some tequila and some Rolling Rock in my trailer. Go help yourself, man. Take a shot for me.
Nice.
I was like, oh, Cuba, I wish I could. I told him, but I gotta go on set. He's like, if I say it's okay, it's okay. I'm like, bet. So I went and I took two shots of tequila, had a Rolling Rock down that shit like in 5 minutes, and went on set. I was buzzing when we were shooting that scene, bro. I was buzzing. And nobody cared. Everybody was having a good time. Everybody was smoking on the ganja too. You feel me?
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, well, that was the vibe on set. You feel me? So we had a great time. And I honestly, that one thing about being an actor and working on a set for several weeks, months, or whatever, with the same group of people, not only the actors, not only the cast, but also the crew, the people that work behind this camera, we do become a family, bro. We ended up,
Mm.
having a lot of fun and acting like we're family. You feel me? And matter of fact, the rat party. I don't know if anybody really knows what. So a rat part whenever you finish filming a film, finish
Hmm.
shooting a film, it's called a wrap. Like, wrap. You're wrapped. You're done. So what we do is we have what's called a wrap party. Now that we wrap the film, let's have a party. So we go have a wrap party. And I remember, we were all just having such a good time, and me and Q, bro, we were lit. Oh, I got something fun for you.
Okay.
So Cube and I were, just having a good time. I go, Cube, man, do you mind if I take a photo with you? I hand my camera over to a friend. He's like, yeah, yeah, man, let's go. And remember, we were both lit.
Oh, that's great, man. It's weird because he
So
kind of looks like Method Man in that picture.
he does. He kind of does, but trust me when I tell you, that is definitely Ice Cube
Yeah, man, that's so cool. Yeah. Wow, man.
and a very young me. You know?
Yeah.
So,
I really apologize. Like seriously, I went on Google like a million times just to make sure. I said,
like
is
I
he the
said,
guy
it's
in the
not your
beanie?
fault. It's
Dude,
not your
it's so
fault.
crazy.
No, don't even worry about it. That's why I tell everybody, don't even worry about it because I know that on online they have it wrong too, and I don't know how to correct it. But look, I got 96,000 followers on TikTok that all know who I am. They know, the difference, and they spread the word, which is great. So by word of mouth, people are getting to understand that. I just wish somebody would have told Young Dolph before he made that video, you know, and and gotten it wrong. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it happens. It is what it is, and I'm
Well,
okay with it.
like one of my favorite cartoons growing up. Now I know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I.
That's
Joe.
right, GI Joe. Let's go. Yeah, man.
Man, before you go, I just wanted to know, and this is kind of like a personal question for me. Um, well, let me go back real quick. There is a lot of things right now being revealed in Hollywood, especially after the strike happened, that is just mind-boggling to me, but I'm glad things are starting to come to light. Like, Taraji P. Henson, of course, she's going online saying, how underpaid she's been. What really kind of opened my eyes was there's this floating clip of Terrence Howard saying that he only got paid 12 G's for Hustle and Flow. And I'm just like, just want to
Whoa.
know what is some of your thoughts about all of that, as far as actors getting paid their just due and things like that.
Okay, so first of all, let me comment on my girl Taraji P. Taraji P and I, we worked together too.
Nice.
Yeah, we did a show called Boston Legal together.
Yeah, Boston Legal
Um,
with Chai, right? Chai.
well, there was a slew of celebrity actors on that show, including John Larroquette and William Shatner and Candice Bergman, James Spader, and the list goes on and on. But she was a special guest star on the show, playing the lawyer, playing my lawyer, defending me and my little kid. Um, and I love Taraji. Taraji's an amazing actress. Now I saw that interview with Terrence Howard that you're referring to, and what I can tell you is this: people automatically assume that us actors, every single one of us, is rich, that we
Mm,
have mansions, that we have a dozen cars, that we have no worries. Okay. Now, with that being said, do we get paid well? Yes, we do. Union actors, we get paid well when we work. Um, the actors that find a lucrative career are the ones that end up on a television series, especially if that series goes on for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 20 years, 20
mm-hmm.
seasons, if you will.
Like
You're
Grey's
set for
Anatomy
life. Like Friends. Friends, their last season, they were each making $1 million
episode. It's
an
insane.
episode. It is insane. But with that being said, Um, not all of us actors are on series regulars. We're not all on television series. So let's say that I book a gig. and I get paid $10,000 to do the gig. $10,000 is a decent amount of money, right? Especially for about a week's worth of work, right? Taxes, your agent,
Mm.
publicist,
Yeah.
you know, and whatever else. You're lucky if you end up with maybe about 40% of your check. Okay. Number one. Number
Mm.
two, you got to make that money last until your next project. And your next project could be a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, or even 6 months from the last project that you did. So, with that being said, as actors, we depend on residual payments.
Mm.
Residual payments are like royalties. Okay. So basically, let's say I was a guest star on a television show on network television, prime time. Network being ABC, NBC, CBS, all
Right.
those. And prime time being between 8 and 10 p.m. at night where they air it. Now, the contract that we have, or we had with, well, we still have with network television is you're going to pay the actor this amount of money. And then if you decide to rerun the show again, his episode on prime time, you got to pay him the exact same amount of money. So in other words, if I got paid $10,000 to do that television show as a guest star, the next
Right.
time they rerun it on prime time, I get another $10,000 check in the mail as a residual payment, right? And
Okay.
that's how us actors survive. That's how we survive. Um, so what happened? Cable television showed up. We had a
Right.
fight with cable television for better pay and residuals because now the networks were shooting over their television shows to cable where we didn't have a contract, right? And they can
Right.
rerun all they want on network on the cable television shows, right? Then streaming came along,
Streaming.
which we
Right.
also didn't have. So
Mm.
now there's a loophole. Productions on network television no longer have to do reruns on prime time on network. Why? Because they throw all their shows to the streaming services.
Okay.
And they can rerun those episodes all they want without us, not just the actors, but the writers as well, getting residual payments. And that's what we were fighting for last year. That's why the writers and that's why the actors, we all went on strike and we
Right.
got what we wanted. We got what we deserved. Okay. And because of the lack of residual payments, because COVID hit, we were shut down for 2 years because of COVID. Then the strike hit. The industry was shut down for almost a year because of it. A lot of actors, including myself, lost our health insurance.
Wow.
Yeah, because we didn't qualify. You have to make a certain amount of money a year
Money.
to qualify for the
Hmm.
health insurance. Yeah. And the residual payments counted towards those earnings in order to qualify for your health insurance. So now I've been having to pay out of pocket for privatized insurance, which is a lot more expensive than what I had with SAG-AFTRA. And mind you, I've had SAG-AFTRA health insurance since 1992,
Right. Because
and
with
I
your first
lost
speaking role with American. Okay. Gotcha.
American Me.
Wow.
And so, but see, I'm not the only one. There's thousands and thousands of actors in SAG-AFTRA that have lost their health insurance because of it. You know,
Wow.
I'm fortunate enough that I can still afford to pay for my own privatized health insurance, because I have other avenues of income and whatnot. But
Hmm.
there's actors that don't. There's actors that are literally living without health insurance to this day, and the greed of the Hollywood machine is what I'll call it. We all know who I'm referring to.
Hmm.
Um, Saying that making comments like, "Oh well, we'll just starve out the actors and the writers when they lose their homes and their health
Mm.
insurance. They'll cave in." Well, guess what? We didn't. We didn't. We stood in solidarity. We fought against the Hollywood machine, and we won.
Yeah.
We got the contract that we wanted. We got the contract that we deserve. And I'm hoping that by the end of this year, I'll finally have my SAG-AFTRA health insurance back. I'll qualify again. But this is what a lot of people need to understand is that At the end of the day, I call myself a struggling working actor because I've had the fortune the to be working every year, booking several gigs a year, with the exception of the last 3 years because of COVID and the strike and everything that's happened. I've only booked 2 gigs in the last 3 years, and that's pretty amazing considering, that I
Yeah,
booked
yeah.
one gig during COVID and one gig right before the strike. So I'm blessed and I'm fortunate for that. Um, and I'm fortunate enough to have the talent that I have, to have had a career of 32 years with 117 credits to my name on IMDb, which is a feat in itself to accomplish because there's so many actors who haven't been able to do the same thing.
Oh
So
wow. Yeah, yeah.
I count my blessings, brother. I count my blessings for sure.
Yeah, man. That's God, I feel like I learned something today. This is awesome, dude, man. Because a lot of people don't know that. I didn't know. Well, I knew about the insurance thing because actor Jonathan Key-Kwan, who won an Oscar for Everything Everywhere All
Yeah.
at Once, who played
Hmm.
Data in the
I love
Goonies.
Beta. I love him.
Man, I mean, you I don't know if you heard his whole story.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. And I mean, he really like he grinded. Like, cause I really admire his story because like for between Goonies, well, he did a few other things, but between Goonies and let's say Encino Man, he was not doing a lot of work, you know what I'm saying? And then for
No.
a while he had to go back to school. He worked behind the scenes. He was a stunt coordinator for X-Men. Just incredible.
A
Um,
lot of, yeah.
yeah. I want to know if you have any advice for anybody, not just children, but adult, child, anybody who just wants to do something outside of the box like what you're doing because for a long time it was the thing like do we have any advice for kids who want to be actors or whatever but now I'm learning that a lot of actors start off in their late 40s or even in their 60s. Do you have any advice for anybody who wants to do anything outside the box?
Yeah. I touched on this earlier in the interview, but and I always end my podcast or my podcast interviews with this. Um, if you have a dream, if you have a passion for something, no matter what anybody ever says to you, no matter how many naysayers are out there, no matter how many people tell you you can't do it, you cannot do it, don't believe them. Believe in yourself and take a leap of faith. Pursue your dream, pursue your passion, because I'm a living example that it's possible. Now, with that being said, it may not be true for everybody. You may
Okay.
take that leap of faith. You may pursue your dream. You may pursue your passion, and you probably won't be successful because not everybody is. That simply means that it was not meant for you. But at the very least, you won't live the rest of your life wondering, what if? That's what I was saying earlier. You don't want to live your life wondering, what if? What if
Mm,
I had taken a leap of faith? What if I had taken a chance? What if I had tried to be an actor, an artist, a singer, songwriter, whatever the case may be, whatever the passion or dream you have? At the very least, you gave it a shot, and you will not live your life wondering, what if? You'll know that you gave it your best shot, and that's all you could do. So that's my advice to you. Don't live your life wondering, what if, and take a leap of faith, because I'm not going to deny the fact that I have made many, many, and I mean many sacrifices to be where I'm at now. And that is a veteran actor of 32 years that to this day, thank God, and I'm still doing what I love to do. I get paid to perform my passion. You never work a day in your life when you get paid to do your passion,
mm.
So
Yeah.
that's all I'll leave you guys with.
But man, rules that you dropped today, man, thank you so much, man. I really
My
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your delicious dinner. Sounds great.
Thank you,
Um,
brother. I appreciate that.
And thank you so much again for your time. And I didn't even touch on your work with Seth MacFarlane and Family Guy and American Dad.
Yeah.
Do you like voice acting? Do you enjoy that?
I love voice acting. I love it because with voice acting, it's easier for you um, to become the character and commit to the character because you don't have to worry so much on the physical aspect of it as much as it is the voice aspect of it, and you literally can change your voice to become whoever you want to become and not worry about what you look like.
Do you get to do it from home or do you have to be in the studio?
With American Dad and Family Guy, I've had to be, well, the majority of them have been in the studio, because the auditions can happen from home, which they do now, but the actual work has to be done in a professional soundproof setup with a professional mic and a professional mixer and all that. So yeah,
Okay, cool. Again, man, I give you your flowers, man. Thank you for being a part of a lot of great things, man. And thank you for your time. I really, really appreciate you, man. And I hope you have a great
absolutely.
rest of the day.
Thank you so much for having me, guys, and y'all have a blessed day. And remember, 2024, let's make it our, you know what.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Appreciate
All
you.
right.
Much love, everybody.
Appreciate